welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today must be Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and we are here live over in Studio B. I have my lovely co-host, Miss Fiona. How you doing, Miss Fiona?
Hey, Dr. Ron, how are you?
I am still alive. That's my testimony. I am sticking to it. I'm here ready to do what we do on a Tuesday. Yes. Yes, I'm excited
I've,
today. Yes.
I've,
Yes. I'm really excited today.
why you?
Yeah, we've got this thing they call Black History Month, that comes around every February. And
Mm-hmm.
because it's only 1 month out of the year, we decided that we're going to celebrate, you and I, Black History 365 days for the next year. So we'll be doing this all year, y'all. But
Absolutely.
the one good thing about having as many people as I know in the world, we got a living legend on the line with us today. So I'm so excited about it. We're gonna have Mr. Lee Michaels on the air with us. And many people may not have ever heard of him, but that's okay. After the day, you'll know who he is. And then there are those that know him from his work here in the Chicagoland area. So I'm so excited to have him on the show today. A real live living legend. Man, that's wonderful. I'm excited. I don't know how he was able to get away from the nursing home to come down to be with us, but he gonna be with us today. That's what's up. I love it. So I'm going to jump. You got something you want to add to that? Because I'm gonna jump right into the opening of the show. If you don't,
No, I'm ready.
you ready?
I'm excited as well.
Okay, good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
I'm ready.
so first of all, I want to give a couple of shout outs to all of our healthcare heroes that are out there working in the world. They are keeping our loved ones alive, all of our friends alive, everybody that has come down with this pandemic. And they have now come up with the treatment plan that are keeping folks alive a lot longer that are getting it, because there's been so many people that have gotten it and passed away, but yet because of our healthcare workers, there are so many people that are alive, and I love that idea. That people are surviving and doing well. And I wear this doctor's shirt in solidarity to all of the healthcare heroes that are out there in the world working. And I'm going to keep on wearing it every time I go live in solidarity to our healthcare workers. So I salute you, I applaud you, I thank you, because they have kept some of my family members safe as well. So I'm so glad that they're on their job doing what they're doing, keeping our loved ones alive. Also, I want to give a shout out to all of the pastors that are on the front line, that are doing their job, praying and bringing words of inspiration and motivation at a time like this, because there are many people that are going into states of depression and things of that nature, but our spiritual leaders are on the front line, keeping them uplifted and doing what they do. And if you don't know anybody that's doing that job, let me refer you to my spiritual leader and my mentor, Dr. Lloyd Michael Hunt. He has been coming on each and every day since last year when the pandemic started, and he has been keeping people uplifted and encouraged. And I'm so excited to refer people to him. I started a YouTube channel for him. If you go on there, I got a private playlist. You can see some of his inspirational words. Also, if you scroll down on my Facebook live feed, you'll be able to see some of his videos and find out who this man really is and follow him. I tell you, you'll be encouraged, especially at a time like this. Also, I want to acknowledge all of the people that have lost loved ones during this time. This is a very difficult time And I know you can't celebrate your loved ones the way you would like to. We are losing people every day, and it continues. It continues. It does not stop. From 2020 to 2021. Just on the 31st, just a shout out to another hero in our community, Mr. Herman Roberts. Mr. Herman Roberts was, for those that don't know, was the first black hotel owner on the south side of Chicago that incorporated hotels and entertainment. They used to call them Roberts Motels. And back during the 50s and 60s, when he was operating his hotels, they were exclusive hotels because many civil rights leaders and entertainers could not stay downtown. That didn't come until 1964. So, up until 1964, if you were a black person and you came to Chicago and you needed a place to stay in a five-star hotel, you went to a Roberts Motel. And he operated the Roberts Motel successfully on the south side of Chicago. So he passed away on the 31st in Vegas. We definitely lift his family up in prayer. My numbers for this week: 26 million confirmed cases. Confirmed cases of corona in the United States. We had 445,000 deaths. We're almost at 100. 445. We're almost at 500,000 people. This thing is real, y'all. You need to take it seriously. It is no joke. People are dying. So don't underestimate this corona because people are getting sick and getting up out of here. So I just, man, I just can't encourage people enough to stay safe, be smart about this thing. you know. So what's going on with you, Miss Fiona? I know you got something on your mind. I can see your wheels over there turning.
It's just been a really busy day. So I'm just here. I'm ready to talk to Mr. Michaels and learn something new, learn some new Black history.
Uh-oh. Okay. So you want to speed right on through too then, huh?
It's new to me.
That's new to you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just being
You
patient.
just being patient? All right. Well, I'm gonna hang right there with you then. Well,
Absolutely.
look, let's not delay any longer. Let's
Okay.
go over to the next part of this then. So Miss Fiona don't have nothing that she want to bring up. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna play our commercials, and then we're gonna move right along. We're gonna bring that rascal on, and let's see what he got to say. Okay. So first thing I want to do is let you know we're gonna go over to my website. And I've been doing some upgrades on my website, so it's starting to look different now. I appreciate the people that work with me to keep all my IT together. He's been working on it. He got it looking different now, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm gonna go over to the website, and then you're gonna hear my theme song. So after the theme song, I'm gonna talk to you about the people that help make this possible. So stand by.
Ask Dr. Ron, ask Dr. Ron. Whatever you're feeling, he will give you healing, he'll inform you. Ask Dr. Ron, ask Dr. Ron. Entertaining news, political issues, local and globally.
All right. First thing I want to do is invite everyone to go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, take a browse around, check out all the information. You'll see some things about me. You'll see some things about our affiliates and people that we work with. And then you'll come to a place on the website called advertisers. So these are our advertisers. And I'm going to breeze through these real fast today so we can get to our guest. This is Chief Nomos Oasis. He brings in products, goods, and services from the west coast of Africa. Moringa seed. He also offers up alkaline water, which at a time like this is very helpful when you're trying to keep optimum health. So definitely click on the banner. It'll take you over to his website, and you'll get an opportunity to see all of the products that he brings in. Also, you'll see RRJ Web Solutions. If you have an idea or a concept that you would like to bring to the World Wide Web, he is the man for you. RRJ Web. He can host, he can fix your broken website, anything related to websites, he can help you. So definitely click on the banner and go over there. We also have Prince Hunter Financial Group. If you're interested in learning how to do Forex trading, stock market trading, you can click on this banner, go to his website. He's offering 2 free classes to anybody that mentions the Ask Dr. Ron show. Just call him up, click on the banner, make an appointment, get your 2 free classes, and find out how you too can make millions of dollars off of the stock market or the Forex market. He can teach you the right way to do it. All right, Prince Hunter Group. Now, this one we had on the show last week, Miss Ray Williams, Quick Fishing Tax Services. Everybody during this time of year needs somebody to prepare their taxes, and she's offering them discounts, free electronic filing, as well as some other discounts. If you mention this show, the Ask Dr. Ron show, reach out to them, click on the tab, go to their website, make an appointment, and you too can get that discount and get excellent tax preparation, because there's a lot of stuff going on with the IRS right now, and she keeps up with all of that information. So she'll be able to tell you how to get the most back from all the money that you didn't make on last year. Okay. Also, one of my favorite advertisers, Port Again Sam, he brings in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world exclusively to our community, and I love it. I tell you, Sam has been getting in some fresh product lately, and I need to go take a visit over there, and you do too. Click on the banner, go over to his website, set up a wine tasting. He can truly find something that will fit your taste buds. And if you like cognac, oh baby, he got some of the best cognac available. Okay. And also, last but not least, we have National Block Club University, and they are helping bring your community to a place of safety, block by block. Click on the banner, go over to his website, reach out to him, and find out what you can do in order to be able to make sure your community is safe. He's got a plan for you. All right, please support all of our advertisers and our affiliates. We have Chicago Communicator News Media, and we also have Immaculate Educational Consulting, which happens to be our co-host, Miss Fiona, and her company and her team of people that she works with. So that concludes all of our advertisers. So right now, at this point in the show, we're going to go over to our special guest on today, which looks like he's got a double mask on right now, and I'm not exactly sure what he's trying to prove. I think he's at home alone with his 2 or 3 lovely house pets, but he's over there, he disappeared on us, the creator of the show Street News Now, the one and only Mr. Lee Michaels. How you doing, sir? Where you at?
I'm right here. How you doing?
All right. So we're going to have to look at your logo for 2 hours or 1 hour. Okay, there you go. What is that you have on your face, man? Is that a muzzle for the dog?
No, it's a nose condom. I'm not playing with dog. I'm trying to stay alive, man.
I understand. Look, and you got more reason to try to want to be alive than any of us because you got more years on the earth than all of us on the air right now.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, I'm not playing with this mess, man. I'm just, trying to stay alive.
Trying to stay alive. Okay.
I'm in the house like a child on punishment.
I know that's right, brother. You and me both.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I thought it was a muzzle or something, Like he just went down and the dog and muzzled him. Okay,
It's a plastic device that you put on before you put your mask on.
Okay.
And it's supposed to keep your mask from getting stuck to your face, or like when people breathing, you see it going in and out. But this is kind of like a cone that goes over that.
So you actually went out and bought that?
No, I didn't.
So you shoplifted it?
No. I'm an Amazon freak. It looked cool on Amazon, so I bought them.
Okay, so you bought more than one. He said them.
Yeah, it's coming in a package of 8 or 10.
Okay. All right. So, and for those that don't know, I call this man the legend for a reason because he has been in the entertainment industry for what, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, stop me anytime now, 80, 90.
Oh, over 50 now.
Over 50 years.
Yeah, it started in 1965, so what is that?
Yeah, that's over 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and primarily in radio and music, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Did a little television, not much.
Not little television. Okay.
Yeah, I was too ugly for TV, so I kind of stayed behind the camera.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go right along with that train of thought. You still kind of ugly for television.
Shit don't change.
I think that's where the mic check goes. Mic check, mic check.
That's right. That's right. You got it.
Yeah. Look, shout out to some of the people that are following us on. We got Chris Bases here. We got Walter Cannon.
Shakalaka.
The guy that was supposed to come on the show last month or last year, something like that. The Republican guy. He popped up on our show on Thursday one time. And we got Albert Cross. Shout out to you. Albert says, he said, I've been in the house like a kid on punishment. He liked that,
No, a child, not kid.
Okay, he said
child.
Kid. Okay, so
No,
he got those little tears in the laughing face going on, Yeah. Yeah, so, he's on the East Coast too, so he don't hear too well either.
Okay.
So, but we ain't gonna pick on him.
Look at you. Shots fired. I heard you.
Yeah. So Miss Fiona said she was anxious to meet with you and talk with you. So I'm gonna get out the way and let her go at you right now. Go ahead on, Miss Fiona.
Well, hi, Dr. Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Professor Michael. I'm well. How are you today?
No, you guys give me all these titles that I don't deserve. I'm just Lee. If I could get my family members, all my ex-wives to call me doctor or mister even, it would be great. But nobody gives me any respect except people that come in on the radio thing. So thank you very much for all those fake titles.
He said fake titles. Lord have mercy.
Mr. Lee Michaels, that's it. That's what I'm going to call you.
You can call me Lee. You doesn't have to call me Mister. Y'all remember that comedian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember. She might not be old enough to remember.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Who is it?
It was a comedian that used to show up on the Gong Show back in there. I guess that was in the 70s. And
yeah.
He was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, I beat you up.
Yeah.
She's too poor thing.
Yeah.
Well, I was excited to talk to you because it is Black History Month, and 50 years is quite a long time to be in the industry.
Yeah, it is.
So can I just, talk to you as a pillar because of your experience?
Sure. Whatever you want.
Oh, okay. So could you just tell us about what's the difference between radio then and now?
Big difference. Radio back in the day in 1965, when I got my more or less break, I was even a fan of radio prior to that. But it was quite different then. I would say that there may have been more opportunities for people of color to get into the business because there were more black-owned stations. Far fewer today than it was in the 60s, 70s, 80s even. So from that perspective is vast difference. The creativity was allowed then. You could be a personality. You could be yourself. And the radio stations looked for people that were different. Not everybody sounding the same. And that was unique and challenging. It was also very competitive. I think it's less competitive. It's competitive, but less competitive today because, for example, there in Chicago, you got the V103, GCI, that are owned by the same company, iHeart Radio Media. They're all on the same floor, in the same building. They used to be hardcore competitors in different parts of town, owned by different people. So it was a different competitive nature. Today, it's a bit different because it's competitive, but not really. It's competitive from the standpoint of whoever that program director is or vice president of programming for that company decides which station is going to do what. And they don't really compete with themselves, with each other. They compete in the market, looking for market share in a different demographic. So it's different from that perspective. Also, the delivery method. Back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even, it was AM or FM. Now you've got satellite, you got internet. And, it's more competitive. People don't have to listen to radio. And I submit that people under a certain age, probably under 25 years old, probably consume more online than they do on terrestrial radio. So from that, that's just a few of the things that make it vastly different than what it used to be.
And the second part of that is that it'll never go back to what it used to be.
Probably not. It's going to keep moving forward. There'll be new technology and delivery systems in the future that we don't even know about yet. So there are opportunities forthcoming, but I think there are fewer opportunities. I was just talking to Armando Rivera, who's a longtime radio personality and programmer and management type person there in Chicago as well. I hired him in 1981, and he's basically been in that market all of this time except for 2 or 3 years over in Detroit. And we were talking about the lack of jobs in radio, period. And it doesn't matter whether it's black or general market radio. There are fewer jobs today than ever before because of the ownership changes and the whole different outlook of what radio is all about. So if you were young and just, getting into the business, you're in college, I feel sorry for you because the number of opportunities are few and far between in traditional radio. I would submit that you would look at the delivery systems like the internet, which I think is more significant than even satellite radio, because that's just another hybrid of AM and FM radio as we know it. And I don't think it's reached what they thought they were going to be able to do. And I think largely, in my opinion, they started out wrong, but that's another show. But I think that we can look forward to opportunities on the internet more than anywhere else. So if you're in college, you're taking a media course, think about the internet as being your platform of choice or availability, because you can create your own opportunity. You don't have to wait for somebody to hire you. You hire yourself. You can be a YouTuber, or you can do a Facebook thing, or a combination thereof, because there's a huge audience that lives on those platforms that you have immediate reach to, and you don't have to worry about getting a job. You create your own damn job, create your own creativity. You don't have anybody telling you, no, you can't say that, or you can't do that. Well, that's not good. This is, do this, don't do that. So from that standpoint, I hope that we will continue to see people grow and be more creative. I'm not super impressed with a lot of the stuff that I see on the internet that they feel is creativity. And some of it is. I have to admit, some of it is very entertaining. I find myself watching stuff on YouTube more than I watch regular TV now. So for an old head like me to digest and consume a lot of YouTube, I think speaks volume.
Yeah, you're right. I have found myself doing the same thing. I've got a couple of series that I follow now, a group of comedians that we talked about once before. They're putting out comedy clips, 8 minutes long. I'm like, where are they getting this from? 8 minutes. I thought that would be too long for a skit, but they're running them that long,
Sure.
Yeah.
If the key is if it's creative and fun and engaging, 8 minutes is not a long time, for a skit, even on the internet. 7 to 8 minutes, I think, is a sweet spot still. And if it's super creative, 10 minutes. So I do a lot of coaching to people that are starting out internet stations, whether it's visual or audio only, podcasting or video casting. And one of the things that I promote to them is make sure your first 8 or 10 minutes is killer. If you don't keep them for that 8 to 10 minutes, forget about it. They're gone for a lot of reasons. Either your content is not engaging enough to keep them there, or they're moving on. They've got other stuff to do. And especially if they're mobile, walking down the street, watching you on their cell phone or iPad or whatever, or, some people even driving and have it on. A lot of them are listening more so than watching, hopefully. So it's a whole different world now that we have to think about and program to, as opposed to just assuming that people are going to watch your show because
Yeah. So question, since you're the radio coach or entertainment blog coach, it used to be a formula back in the day that and when the opening of a movie would come on, it would either have to have something extremely violent or some butt-naked person walking across the stream. Is that still the norm as a formula?
We know what you've been watching, but
am I supposed to go boom boom right now?
Thank you. Well, yeah. I think the key is it's teasing the audience and giving them a monologue, if you will, in terms of what's about to happen. So, you got to catch them up front and drag them along. So, yeah, whether it's violence or comedy or nudity or whatever it is, you want to ring that bell right up front to make sure that they understand this is what's coming.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Miss Fiona.
So
I'm
the
sorry.
content has to be.
I cut in on you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. How consistent does the content have to be, or is someone able just to talk about something different every show for radio?
I'm sorry, I got muted over here. I didn't hear your comment or question.
How important is content when relating to having a consistency on your show?
Well, I think it has to be a combination of the two. Um, Whatever you do, whatever the content is, first of all, it's got to be great. It's got to be engaging. It's got to be entertaining. It's got to be informative. And you have to be consistent with it. You can't have one show that was just like home run, and the next one is you know. So that's how that is, you know.
Yeah, y'all know he got good toys at his house, right? In Studio C, we have Mr. Lee
There's a lot
Michaels
of choice over there.
with his toys for boys. Okay, you know?
Boy in the stories.
yeah.
That goes along with the fun and entertaining thing. You make people laugh, and they go, "Oh, Lee Michaels is a real world class fool. He's always doing something crazy." But that's what people like. Some people are, man, that's obnoxious. Give up that crap. Yeah. So, but you can't please everybody. You got to know who your audience
Right.
is, first of all. Who are you trying to cater to? So when you go on your show, whether it's live or pre-recorded, know who your audience is and satisfy that need, whatever they're looking for. That's the key. It's not about you. It's about who you're trying to attract.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. And you know, that's an excellent lead in to bring up our other show that we do. Let me just put it up. We can keep on talking about it as we go along here. You mentioned something earlier about when you put a show together, it has to be, you know, for a particular target audience. And we actually came up with a show on election night. It was when we first put it together. And it carried over after election to where we are today and what we're doing now. And it's on your network, the Street News Now. And it's been kind of coined and nicknamed the Four Horsemen, but it has to do with what I call the legend, Mr. Lee Michaels, also Mr. Chris Bass, the Professor Reggie Miles, and myself. And we've been doing this show each and every Thursday, you know,
Right.
8 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it has turned into kind of a family favorite for some folks. People are starting to, you know, come on board. And I think last week we had a fan from Australia. You know, and that's, you know, so it's starting to pick up worldwide, you know, recognition, and I love it. And we broadcast on Facebook and on YouTube Live on every Thursday. So it's a beautiful thing. So I'm excited about it because it gives me something to do during the pandemic, you know. So, you know, we get to hang out and crack jokes. And then, unfortunately, after the show, we hang out another 2 hours in the green room, you know, cracking jokes, drinking wine, and smoking weed. I don't know anybody smoking weed but me, but
Yeah, you guys carry on. I usually have my dinner after the show, so I just leave everything up. You guys talk and cut the fool and have fun. And
yeah.
But you know, I think it's a really good show. Like you said, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Central, the four of us get together, and sometimes we have other people join in, and we encourage people to do that. To join in, and you can be a guest and come on visually and participate in the conversation. So that's what the show is all about. Of course, most of the shows have been centered around politics, but we do touch other types of entertainment, news, and community stuff as well. So it's kind of a round table discussion among the four of us primarily, and with your participation, people are watching us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and several different pages within those, on your page, on Street News Now page, Facebook, and so on and so on, even Periscope. And Twitch. We just added Twitch a couple of weeks ago. So you can catch us everywhere. And the network is this right here, Street News Now. You can search on any of those platforms and find us. Or you can find us under Dr. Ron or Lee Michaels, or just we're everywhere.
Yeah.
We're like a plague. We're like COVID.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't get rid of us.
No, they can't. We've started it now. It's there. And, and then one of the other things we get to do in between shows, like, of course, I cross-network the show. I bring you guys on. Like last month, we had Reggie on, and I think the month before that, we had Chris on. So I cross-network the show to give everybody an opportunity to see us individually, because we're all personalities that have been in the business a very long time. I got at least 45 years. You got 50. Reggie's been around probably about 40-something years. Chris has been around almost 30-something years. So we all have experience with being in the radio business and entertainment industry. And to come together, it's very hard, first of all, for that much talent to be centered in one location without everybody trying to, have ego issues. But we get along so well. It's fun. We flow. And I tell you, I couldn't think of anything better to do, but I just like the idea that we're able to come together and put on this type of show. And in between my show and Thursday, I get to come on and do news briefs on Street News Now. So I'm always searching, for a 60-second news brief that I can send over, and it keeps Street News Now on the forefront of at least YouTube, if nothing else. We keep something going.
Yep.
So.
And we encourage other people to send in reports. The whole idea behind Street News Now is to create a network that we control, okay? And what we're looking for is to have reporters from all over the country feeding news from your local area. So if you're in Chicken Switch, New Mexico, or Mobile, Alabama, wherever you are, something is going on that needs to be reported. And all you need, quite frankly, is one of these, a cell phone. With a cell phone, you can record and then send that recording to us, and then we can feed it over the network so the world can see it. Now, you say, well, what do I need to do that for? Well, I'm primarily looking for people who want to establish themselves in the business as being a journalist, a commentator, and if you want a long-form show, that's available as well. So we want to have a network of creative people from around the country and perhaps maybe around the world. But I want to focus in on America first, because this is where we are. And I think that we have an opportunity here to grow something that we can control. So, and why not? The technology is available, and you can go to streetnewsnow.com, and there's a sign-up form. Just fill that out, and that lets me know that you're interested in being a part of the team. So I'm looking for people who want to establish themselves in the media, and it could be in many different forms. I'm primarily looking for information creators right now, but I see an opportunity to grow that in other areas in terms of entertainment as well.
Mm-hmm. And this is what you do. You've been doing this, like you said, for 50 years, programming and taking, radio stations that might have been not getting a lot of the marketplace, and then making them, number one in their market, and you've done it all over the United States, from Florida to New York to California. You do Texas too?
Yeah, Houston.
Houston, okay. See, so
yep.
That's why I call him a legend. It ain't no place he ain't been. He been.
Yeah, there's only a handful of places I haven't worked, like North and South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, Washington State, Oregon, Vermont, and Maine. But who in the hell wants to work any of those places?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Maine,
mean,
Maine,
in
Maine is kind of
Oklahoma.
rough, boy. Maine is
Yeah, I
kind of
mean,
rough, boy.
plus there was no money in those areas,
Not
so
at all. It's so
I
funny.
could.
Speaking of money, I'm gonna tell this little short story. Um, you know, Gary had a radio. I think they still got it. A radio station that was operated by the school district, and I had talked to them and negotiated an opportunity for us to go over there and take over the radio station. You know, well, of course, I wasn't gonna do nothing. Okay, I pulled out the big dog. Okay, so I called up Mr. Lee Michaels. I said, "Come on, Lee, let's go over here to Gary," and he had just happened to be in town. So we go strolling over there, and we take a look around. We see all of the foolishness that's going on. And they had one guy over there that thought he was the shit. Okay? He just knew he wasn't nobody better at doing this than him. And he was trying to impress the director of the school district that we don't need no help. So 30 minutes after we left there, this fool found out who was standing there in his presence, Mr. Lee Michaels. He said, "Call him back. Tell him to come back. We want him over here right now. We need his help."
That's funny.
And
Almost too late.
yeah,
I remember that quite well.
and
They
wait a
need
minute.
the laptop.
And then it was so funny. Lee stopped taking their calls.
Now, see, you're gonna make me look like a bad guy now, but no, look. I mean, once you evaluate the situation, you know that this is a train wreck, and Houdini can't fix some things, and I just had to moonwalk away from it because it just didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And you can put a lot of time and effort into something, and yes, you can make it better, but the reward in return just wasn't there. And I don't mean just financially. I saw it as one of those government controlled situations that would probably frustrate the hell out of me in a short period of time. So I said, nah, Pasadena.
Yeah.
Moonwalk away. Just said, it ain't
And
worth
he
it.
stopped taking their calls. No, I just thought it was so hilarious. That the guy didn't know who you was while you was standing there, but then he went and looked you up, I guess, and then he got on the phone and said, "Call him back. Tell him to come back. Yes, we need his help."
Well,
So, Miss Fiona, you got something else for the legend here before he runs off and back, because he only had an hour on his pass from the nursing home, so.
that's right. They're looking for me already.
Well, this could be,
Gotta get back on time.
this could be for the both of you. Have you guys, since I would say, okay, I'm in that generation where we use cassette tapes. What was the form of music that you guys have used when you first started getting on the radio?
Records, 45s and albums. You had to keep them up on a turntable.
In the beginning, and then they started going to long
Reel to
play
reel.
platters. Yeah, they started putting everything on tape. Commercials and everything. That gave people job security. They had to cut everything up, and put it in there so that they can work. Yeah.
Well, in the beginning, at some of the bigger stations, the commercials were actually read live.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Most of them. And then some were pre-recorded and queued up to be played. And then these things, cartridges that look kind of like, if you're old enough to remember, an 8-track. That kind of case was used for commercials back in the day. Those are carts that were played on cart machines. So when we got to those, man, we were like, "Whoa, this is like the bomb diggity."
Yeah.
And then yeah. And then cassettes came in. Not a lot of that was used for broadcasting, more for recording the shows as they were being broadcast. We used cassettes for that, but we didn't really use cassettes for playback on the air unless it was like a church program that was pre-recorded and they would bring it in on a cassette, and it sounded like crap because they had little crappy recorders in those small churches. But that's about the only time we actually used cassettes in broadcasting.
Yeah.
Reel-to-reel cassettes, the carts. And then after that, it went to CDs for the music. From actual vinyl, went to CD. And then from there, it went to all digital. Everything was played from the computer. The commercials, the music, the news, everything was pre-recorded and still is for the most part on what is called playout systems. There's probably 100 different ones, but that's the way the system is now. It's all automated with live assist in some situations. In other situations, it's a lot of voice tracking nowadays. You have personalities. I had a friend that was down in Jacksonville for many years, and he just recently forced into retirement, I guess. But at one time, I think he was doing 10 or 15 stations per day after he did his own live midday show. He would go into the production room and record voice tracks for 15 other radio stations that were played on that company's network, on various HD channels in different cities. So that at one time would have been 15 jobs for 15 other personalities, but now you have one guy doing 15 voice tracks per day on 15 different stations, and they probably gave him $10,000 or $15,000 more a year.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the more notable people that you helped discover in the Chicagoland area, who's not with us anymore, Doug Banks. I know you're familiar with him. You know,
of course.
Yeah, and Lee worked with him for many years. Not name dropping or anything like that, but I just wanted her to get an idea of some of the celebrities that she might be aware of. Because I know we talk about back in the day. It's too many folks to name. I know when you start calling names, you're going to forget probably a whole generation of folks. Like the Hot Mix 5, he helped develop them, those kind of things. I know you heard of Hot Mix 5, right? Fiona? No. You can see that blank look on her face.
The second generation of mixers who were never really on the radio.
Yeah. Was
it the Chosen Few?
Mm.
Okay, so they are more or less the second generation of the house music DJs in Chicago, or maybe third generation. Okay. I think maybe it probably fall in the second because they were around but never on the radio. So they kind of got their feet wet listening to the Hot Mix 5, Farley, Jackmaster Funk, and Kenny Jammin' Jason, Ralphie Rosario, Scott Smoking Seals, and Mickey Mixin' Oliver. So those are the 5 guys that I hired at WBMX, which is now V103, and they carved out the world of mixing on the radio, doing house music and dance music back in the early 80s. So they are the legends from that era.
Yeah.
So
you probably would have to talk about some of your work in Connecticut, since she wasn't here yet,
Right, because you mentioned house music, and house music is big in Connecticut, but it's in a different culture, whereas house music here in Chicago is really big.
Oh yeah, it originated in Chicago, and it spread around the world from those turntables that those guys used to mix on. So yeah, that's the birthplace of house music. Now, today, compared to what it used to be, it has evolved tremendously. There's now 4 or 5 different brands or fractions of house music, and that's the way everything goes. R&B music, pop music, jazz, country. I mean, country today, compared to what it was in the 60s, is a whole different country. It's more like a top 40 song now. I know a lot of non-country people like the country music of today because it's so contemporary and not necessarily sounding like, some twangy, guitar stuff and you know harmonica and some guy talking about, oh, my wife left me last night and I don't know what
Hey, man,
must be another beer.
leave Kenny Rogers alone, man. You know, I used to listen to, you know, Lucille left me with a house and the kids and all the
Right.
crops in the fields all night long, man. Look, man, that was some good music to get drunk off of. You know, Kenny
But
Rogers.
it was the white man's soul music.
Yep, blues and soul.
Yep, yep.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what was a poor man's soul music.
Yeah.
Back in small towns and what have you. So now house music today is more commercial. It really is the foundation for what is called EDM, electronic dance music.
Yeah. In Europe,
And really, yeah. And that was huge over there in Europe.
Yeah.
I have a limo service, and one night I picked up a guy who was a DJ from Europe, I forget what part. And, he came out of the club, it was a late night pickup, and I was taking him to his hotel in LA. And I asked him, I said, what kind of music you play? He goes, EDM. I said, oh, yeah, I love a lot of the EDM. He said, you know about EDM? I said, oh, yeah. I said, don't let the gray hair fool you. I said, I probably know as much about it as you and maybe a little bit more. And he broke out laughing. He goes, why you say that? I said, well, let me ask you a couple of questions. I said, what do you know about house music? He said, oh, yeah, I play a lot of house music. I said, oh, yeah. I said, where did house music come from? Where did it originate? And there was crickets. He didn't know. He says, well, I got acquainted with it from a guy in Amsterdam. I said, wrong answer. That's all Chicago. Then I began to name some of the DJs and some of the influences, and he goes, oh, my God, you know Farley Jackmaster Funk? I said, yeah. I put him on the radio. And then Kenny, Jason, I went through all these different names and some of the other guys in Chicago. And I said, now that's the birthplace of house music. This guy switched. I mean, now he was a fan of me. And when we got out of the car, he wanted to take pictures, and he began to send those pictures of he and I standing outside of the limo, sending them to his friends back in Europe. And this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
Wow.
That's because you're a
Those
legend.
are the experiences.
You're a legend.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help it.
Well, no, it wasn't so much me as was the story behind it, you know, and that he saw, he got excited about the fact that I had something to do with house music in Chicago, and that was, he just lit up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
And
said.
he
legend.
even called one of his friends. I don't know where. I think it was in England or something. And says, "Man, I'm in the car with this guy Lee Michaels that started house music in Chicago." I said, "Wait a minute, I didn't start it. I put the guys on the air. Steph was doing it. So I could be called the godfather of radio and house music or something like that, but I didn't start house music." So,
See?
but that he was just blown away and is excited about.
See how humble he is? You know, the legend, Lee Michaels. See?
Mm-hmm.
My kids don't give a damn about that.
Yeah, well, as long as you keep giving them
The bank says,
look, keep giving
Mr.
them the
Michaels,
money, you'll be a
when
legend
you
in
gonna
their
make that
mind
payment?
too. You know, as long as you keep giving them the money, you're a legend to them as well. Okay?
Man, I'm a legend. Don't be calling me asking me for no money. Are you crazy? They go, yeah, right. Legend in your own mind.
Oh man, we got to get out of here, bro. Shout out to Dr. Katrina Sanders, Florida Williams, Eduardo Dixon. He's a DJ in his own right. I know he know about house music. He be playing that stuff all over the place. Man, I appreciate you taking time out of your legendary daily duties that you perform on a regular. Appreciate you, man. Francisco just tuned in. Great show. Thank you, Francisco.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Man, look.
Hey, Thursday night,
You say what now?
9:00 your time. I was telling Francisco, don't be late.
Yes.
Thursday night.
Yep.
Join
Every Thursday, Facebook Live, YouTube, and all those other platforms that he said, each and every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, he's on the East Coast, so he would be at 9 o'clock, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, 9 o'clock. So appreciate you dropping in, checking out. It's the first time he's come over here, so I appreciate him checking it out. It's a good show for him to drop in on, so he can pick up some more information on you. You know, I hope he ain't a
Nah.
process server and come down there and serve you with some of this stuff that you didn't did wrong.
Yeah, yeah. I'm still running from the ex-wives, so you take it easy. Yeah,
Well,
that was all
look,
good.
y'all think that he is a character here. Just wait till you see him on Thursday when he be in there playing with all his toys. Oh man! And if you are interested in being on Street News Now, that's what this is all about: exposing all of the avenues that we have available. We do a great show over there, if I must say so myself. You know, and we have a lot of fun doing it. You know, we put a lot of good information out there. I wish we can go on 2 hours, but we don't want to bore the folks. So Lee, we're gonna let you say what you gotta say, then we're gonna throw it to Fiona, let her get her last words. Oh, wait, we're gonna let ladies first. We're gonna throw it to Fiona. You wanna hit him up with something before you get out of here, Fiona?
No, I enjoyed you being on the show. I enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for coming.
Nice meeting you finally.
Yeah, yeah. All
Nice
right.
meeting you too.
Yeah. All right, Lee. Kill us with something famous that you would normally say, you know, and then we're gonna get out of here, man. I'm ready to go eat now. My dog gonna sell.
You ready to go, huh?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna play a theme song for our show as we go out. How's that?
That
So people know what to listen for.
sounds good.
Thank you for having me on, man. It's fun, and we'll see you at Thursday, 8 p.m. Central.
See how much of a ham he is, y'all. He just, oh my God, I love him. I love him. You can't help but love him. Man, I appreciate you taking time.
I'm a DJ at heart.
Yeah, coming on, being with us, man. I really appreciate it. Look, I'm gonna let you sit right there while we end this show. Please go over to ask-dr-ron.com. Please support all of my vendors and advertisers. That's what makes it possible for us to do what we do right here. Please go over to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe. This show, like and share on Facebook. If you are interested in being an advertiser, please reach out to myself or Fiona. Talk to her. We would be more than happy. Fiona's information is on my website. We didn't go to her slide this week. We'll pick it up on next week where we'll be talking about all the things that she does. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Facebook. Man. And peace.
But don't follow her on the freeway.
Yeah, she ain't going nowhere. She hiding like everybody else. She in the house like on punishment like everybody else. Okay.
All right,
she ain't
smart
going
lady.
nowhere.
All right,
You know,
cool.
she her day job makes her scared. You know, she got children all day long. You know, with runny noses. I've been teasing her about that since we hooked up together. You know, look, I was like, you sure you ain't have to spray yourself before you came home? You know. Look, y'all, peace and love. See y'all on Thursday night. Y'all take care now. And we are clear.